My name is Andrej. Currently I'm working as a freelancer in the area of marketing and business development, but my passion lies actually in culture and education, and today I will talk a little bit about that. So I was born in Russia, I was raised in Germany and lived for 6 years in the Netherlands, and I have a degree in psychology, cultural psychology, and now I'm doing my master's in business. You see here also internet address, it's my blog. So if you like the presentation and you want to have more facts and knowledge about culture, please visit it. And yeah, let's start. So actually, what is culture? It's basically the hidden dimension in that we live. So culture is the main part of our value system. And the value system is based upon 3 pillars. So universal, cultural, and personal. Universal, every human has these traits. It's, for instance, seeking for happiness or avoiding pain. The cultural is a really complex one and differs from culture, from group, from countries. It's, for instance, the definition of good and evil, of healthy and ill. And a personal, it's your preference that you want, that you like or you dislike. So now we're going to talk about culture itself and about the value system in a culture. Herefore, we have Hall's cultural iceberg model. It was developed in 1974, and he basically said that culture is like an iceberg. The visible part of culture are above, but the more and deeper part is beneath the surface. So he defined the visible part, that what you can see is the surface culture. It's like food, dress, it's literature, language, everything that you can see. And the emotional level is here low. The next part is the shallow culture. So these things you can't really see, but you can experience them if you're in a culture. These are the unspoken rules. It's about courtship practices and about nonverbal communication. It's about feelings, about touching, and so on. Here is involvement relatively high. So if you make here a mistake, you can get in a conflict or people distance from you. The next part is the deep culture. And here is the unconscious rules. So people are not even aware which positions they take on this level. It's attitudes towards elders. It's concept of cleanliness and definition of insanity, and so on and so on. And here is emotional involvement intense. If you make here a mistake, you can really affront the people, and you basically can get in trouble, in real trouble. So what I want to say is that every human that is that have culture, and everyone has a culture, so does things, does behaviors, even that he don't know why he's doing it. A value system generates always behavior. There's always emotion involved. And to demonstrate this, I have a little story about monkeys and culture. It was an experiment conducted by Stevenson in 1967, and he put 5 monkeys in a room. From the ceiling, a banana was hanging down. So monkeys love bananas. So a monkey jumped and grabbed the banana. But simultaneously, all monkeys were sprayed with ice cold water. So monkeys don't like ice cold water. So this was repeated time for time, until a culture was established. So no monkey were allowed to grab the banana. They didn't. So one monkey was replaced. So a new monkey came in. The monkey immediately jumped to the banana, but he was held down by all the monkeys. So because there was a culture involved, don't grab the banana. This replacement was going on and on and on, until all the monkeys from the primary group was gone. But still the culture was established. No monkey knew why they couldn't touch the banana. No monkey was sprayed with water. But when a new monkey came in, no one grabs the banana. So a question to you, maybe we are sometimes also like these monkeys, no offense. So. And having some behavior, generating some behavior, we don't know why we're doing this. Because it feels right. Like our gut is telling us this. So, to illustrate this, and also to ask yourself, we're going to do a little exercise. It's called the Human Values Continuum. I will ask you I will say 3 statements, and you have to find for yourself where you're staying. 2 statements are opposite. So life is what happens to me versus life is what it make it. So if you're sitting in this direction, left, right. You don't have to go 100%. People who agreed more to the direction life is what happens to me, please raise your hands. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. People that agreed more to life is what I make it. Okay.
The rest?
That's perfectly in the middle.
I'm in the middle.
Okay. Again, life is what happens to me. Please raise your hands, and I will ask you why. Just.
It's what my gut tells me, like how you said, how I
Okay.
perceive the world and how I want to perceive it also.
Okay. Someone else want to share why he went to the life is what happens to me? Okay.
Life is what happens to me. I'm in no control of how other people think, and unfortunately, I don't think they do think.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay.
Not thinking it on a level that I can respect.
Okay. Yeah, I understand this.
I'm not a hater, though.
Cool. Thanks for sharing. So the other part, life is what I make it. People, okay, please. If you want to share why you choose this direction.
Because although you have a lot of circumstances that you cannot control,
Okay.
the only thing that you have is your own control.
So you already see, and it's a good point. So personally, I think also that, but it's not the matter what is right, what is wrong, what is better, what is worse. We could really start a discussion that would go for hours. Which statement is better? There is no better. So, and this is important to notice. Let's start with another one. We have 3 in total. The second one. Competition brings out the best, versus cooperation is the way to get things done.
Yeah, I think there are just a little bit statements which don't have anything to do with each other. Like you can say competition brings out the best, yes it does, but still you should do things cooperatively because it's nice.
Of course.
Strictly in the middle.
Of course.
Yeah.
So, and this is the point. Huh? If you put them on both sides, and I agree with you, can really have different settings. It depends also on the situation, for instance.
Oh.
So it's not like really that competition is the best, and I'm always competitive, so I won't beat everyone. So, but how you design your life and how you construct it, in which direction you go, this could be something. So I guess cooperation is the way to get things done, as everyone else meant. Okay. The last one, change is good versus tradition is important. And these statements are based on scientific studies from researchers over 10 years ago. So they actually designed this, and it's quite fun to think about your own statement, where you stand. So again, change is good. Okay, tradition. Okay. If I may ask, why is tradition important?
Well, actually, I thought change. I was opposing the first thing. That change is good. Well, sometimes, but the tradition is important. I believe on that. Tradition is important just to say that it is good to know about the past. That's how I interpret that. And change is good. I just don't agree with that.
Okay. Someone wants to say about change is good, and why is it?
Okay, I won't say change is good. Generally, I would have chosen that. Monsanto, for example, genetically modified crops. Tradition is important. I go in the middle with that.
Okay.
I think the game has changed.
Yeah. So, as you see, we can bring out real discussion about this, and it certainly depends on the situation and also on the group itself. So, but the important thing that I want to give to you, or to realize here, that this is a lot of the statements are inherent in our system. We are raised with this, how our parents behaved, how our neighborhoods behaved, how our country taught us what is good and what is bad. So if someone thinks differently as you about something else, so don't judge this person. It's only a different value system, and this is about cultural awareness. For you, only as a result, and maybe it's also interesting. Life is what happens to me versus life is what I make it. These are the countries that scored on one dimension and also on the other one. First of all, it is the average. So it doesn't mean that everyone who lives in Spain agree like. So this is first of all. Second of all, they're significantly different. Yes.
All right.
Yes. Yeah. So this is like the criteria in psychology. Okay, let's take a look to the next one. So here you see competition brings out the best, and actually Germany scores very high. And Germany is a competitive country. So to do your best, people are admired who are the best in school. People are admired who are the best in university. For some people, is it if we're in a team and I say, okay, let's get this done, and you want to get like better, it's like we are competing with each other, and you're inspired, you're more creative, you want it, So, on the other hand, for instance, cooperative countries, we do it together. We discuss what do you want, what I want, so how can we do, how can, So, this is like, this is the difference. And countries, and also workplaces didn't tend to work in different manners. So, on the last one, United States on the one side and Japan, really on the other side. Germany is about a little bit in the between. I hope it was interesting the point of view, like for yourself. Maybe you saw it like a couple of times. Maybe it's like the first time. But remember. So first, your value system generates behavior. So it's your basic motivator in life. What you do and how you do it. It's like basically your gut that telling you what to do. So if violated, there are always emotions involved. So if I have a particular sense of life, how to live it, and I get violated in that, it's like for me really, I take action. It's like, this is the point. Like be culture aware, most of the time, every time. And thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Just one question. How deep is the culture, on German you would say, anchored in the brain? Like, how easy is it to get rid of it? Is it does it stay the whole life completely, or is it possible to change it? Are there any studies to this?
Basically, you can't get rid of culture because culture is part of value system, but it changes. So
with the monkeys, it changes immediately, or like after a few weeks.
Don't compare yourself really with monkeys. It's like
why not?
So
we are monkeys.
it's a point. It's a point that is made that we are doing something we don't know why. But for instance, if you're now going to Japan and live there for 10 years, so you will change your value system. You will recognize tradition as more important because you see a different perspective.
Yeah. So it's like with the iceberg that the very deepest is like pretty tight in view, and the other
exactly.
things are
But it can change.
Okay.
Because if you don't know another point of view, it's like your value.
You can see that the internet is making a big difference in cultural change. Like the next generation is almost like a global culture. Everyone understands all the problems of everyone in town, the village, and religion as well is a big part of it. But I don't want to get into that.
Yeah.
But you can see it's almost like a global culture is evolving from the internet and knowledge of other people's customs and acceptance of other people's ways and views.
Exactly, I agree with you, but still, to
I think culture is irrelevant in the next 10 years because of the internet, as the man says. I think every divide we have it's extinct. In a globalized economy or a globalized world with the internet, I think it's over.
So, no, unfortunately, no.
I think it is.
No,
I think 20 years then. It's over.
I don't.
Nationalism. I think it's over.
I think Germany is going to still drink more beer than
West, in Ireland, or
So it's not about that I'm close in my own culture.
yeah.
So it's
not
not.
to judge you, not to judge you
No,
whatsoever.
not me. I mean, like all the people. It's not that the people are close.
Yeah.
So you communicate,
Yeah.
but still your inner value system. You got to tell you something. How you behave,
Yeah.
how you get work done,
Yeah.
how you perceive time.
Well, it is dissolving, though. I mean, you would have to admit that at least.
Actually, I don't believe that in 20 years a German and Italian guy or like girl, whatever, will meet, and the Italian guy will come like punctual.
Is that strictly language, though? I mean, you think it's the language barrier, or do you think it's actually like the landmass barrier or economic barrier? I mean, what do you think separates the cultures or continues to have separate cultures? What do you think that? Why do you think that is? Do you think it's culture itself? Do you think it's?
We have to. And this is like a really good question, because culture is not defined by country. You can live in Germany, but you can be like in the hardcore metal scene, whatever culture.
Yeah.
You know, it's like your culture. There are other rules. There, and if you after that you're going like to the punk or like to whatever, everything has changed.
Well, that's a very interesting point. I wish you'd speak. This is matter more time. Like you're talking about like finding your tribe. Like, you could define yourself as being a member of a metal culture or a punk culture.
Of course.
Or, okay.
But you still.
What you spoke of there is like not nationalism necessarily, but how do you say identity of the passport. You know what I mean?
I know, yeah.
And I think
but it's
a
also
generalization, but obviously you needed more time to speak of it. And I like your point.
Yeah. I mean, culture is built up.
Yeah.
I mean, your personality, a big deal of it is culture. So, and you don't have that you're like a German point, you know. So you're like a German and I don't know, like a scientist and a family father and a rock band and boom. You have like, I don't know, like 20, 50, you know?
Yeah.
So, and every culture has its own values. Like the unconscious that you don't even know. As I said, like perceptions of time. Culture is a part of your identity and it will stay forever.
I wanted to answer you and said that the process of flattening borders and internet and everything is one process. On the other hand, a lot of people feel threatened regarding their culture. So this is causing like an opposite thing, and people are getting more close inside their culture to make sure that this
becoming more
masses of community,
right wing is that your reference or
maybe right wing, maybe more religious. You know, we come from Israel, and the old child was becoming very, very strict and close. You know, getting
and the secular getting more secular. Also.
And the secular also.
That's a fair point.
So yeah. Thank you.
Thanks.